Mike, Penn State football, very nice win last week. Sort of a bounce back against Purdue, get the win. It was a little sluggish by both teams. I think the weather played a factor. I just think, hey, it's a little bit of a hangover from a tough loss to Ohio State.
It was a gloomy situation in fabulous West Lafayette, Indiana. But you know what I kind of liked about it though was Purdue takes the opening kickoff, good return. Yeah. Then the kind of a goofy reverse play. They got down in the red zone, and Penn State's secondary, which we don't talk about that much, made 3 plays in a row, and they ended up settling for the field goal. And then Penn State kind of went to work. I thought that was a critical little sequence in the game there, where they could have been in trouble, and it's like, okay, maybe it is going to be a letdown. It wasn't at all.
That secondary is sort of, at the beginning of the year, that was an area they thought was going to be a big concern. I think this year they've performed very well.
Yeah,
very good tacklers, too, and aggressive. And Ted Roof's style of sort of in-your-face, sort of bump and run has worked well for these guys.
There have not been a lot of missed tackles by Penn State at all this year in general. Now they have, the Big Ten is not the Big 12 in terms of passing offenses that they've had to deal with. And in fact, maybe this is one of the better passing quarterbacks that coming this week, Taylor Martinez for Nebraska, that they have dealt with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One more thing with that last week's game, Mosby Felder sort of emerged. They were covering Allen Robinson. They were short a receiver, and Kyle Carter not being there. This guy really stepped up, and I think it's going to be positive with his confidence in the future.
Yeah, I think clearly people now key on Allen Robinson. Mm-hmm. He always gets safety. The corner who's guarding him always gets safety help and so forth.
It's going to happen.
So it is good. It's I heard people even say Freddie Scott and Bobby Ingram comparison.
Wow, a little early for that.
Take it easy. Settle down, everybody.
That's going back to like 94 there.
Yeah, really.
That injury update, I just mentioned Kyle Carter. He's out with an ankle injury. I still think it was a late hit in an Ohio State game. I'm not going to let that go. Jordan Hill,
defensive tackle.
Steel Hog. Man, I looked even bad. He's been having a great year. I am just so glad he had the knee brace on. It looked like it would have been worse if it wouldn't have been. Where do we stand with these two guys? They're going to play it all?
Well, no ligament damage for Jordan Hill, which was the really critical thing. So it's just like a sprain or a little dislocation or twisted knee, whatever. One thing about Bill, as much as I like Bill O'Brien, he has completely assimilated the Bill Belichick approach to reporting about injuries. So he always gives this day-to-day thing, and somebody asked him, he did the day-to-day thing on Tuesday at the press conference, and somebody asked him, well, did they do anything in practice yesterday? And he said, yes. Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
We don't know if they're going to play, and I would be surprised if they're 100% if they do play, and that's a big deal. This is a big game for Penn State, and that's significant.
I think especially Jordan Hill, because of what he means to that defensive front.
No question.
He's really, kept that tradition going up front. That
I think they actually have a little more depth at tight end, amazingly.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
You see the Jesse James and so he goes, okay, what do we have to look for in this matchup with Nebraska? This is a good team. They have 2 losses?
They have 2 losses. They're 7-2. They're alone they're tied for first place in their division of the Big Ten. But with the head-to-head tiebreaker over the team, they're tied with Michigan. They've won, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. They did get gashed a couple times early in the year, their defense. Ohio State scored 63 on them, and they lost at UCLA, where UCLA just had tremendous numbers offensively. But both of those teams ran the heck out of the ball. And you know about Braxton Miller, the running quarterback.
Yes.
They're only allowing 150-some passing yards a game, and the opponent's completion percentage, 46%, is number 1 in the country. So it's going to be a challenge for Matt McGloin and all these tight ends and the passing game. I think that's going to be the dynamic. A little bit surprised that Nebraska is a 7.5-point favorite. I think this is a real tough challenge for the Nets at Nebraska. Yep.
I think a key is going to be Penn State staying on the field offensively and giving their defense a chance to rest. Twice this year, the Ohio game and then the Ohio State game, maybe it's just the state of Ohio, the defense is worn down. Late in the game, if it's a depth issue or if Ted Roof's not making enough substitutions, I think that's going to be key. If Martinez has that able to run in the second half because the defense gets worn down, this could be a Nebraska win.
And Martinez is not as good a runner probably as Braxton. Certainly not as Braxton Miller, but he's a better passer. This guy's had a pretty good year. Up and down career, kind of like Matt McGloin, up and down career, but he's had a really good senior year.
Best passer they've gone against this year?
I would say the guy from Ohio. I would say the guy from Ohio is a very good quarterback, Tettleton, but maybe in the Big Ten, yeah.